Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Balanced Fit and Free podcast. This is Rayanne, your host. Last week, we discussed one of my favorite things, one of the things that really has made a big impact in my life and now is helping clients that I'm working with. And I truly believe can help you too if there's anything you're unhappy with or unsatisfied with in your life. And that was talking about parts. We talked about self, we talked about our exiles or shadow self, and we talked about the protectors. We also discussed that it's important to understand the triad or the cycle that they create together. So, a quick review. If you've not listened to last week's podcast, I highly recommend going back and listening to it. It's a little long, so I'm going to make today faster, but it's a little long. So, you might even want to listen to it in chunks. But we talked about the cycle, and it's this: the exiles appear, so a part of you that you're not super proud of, or a feeling, an emotion. And then a protector jumps in to push away the exile or the feeling. And then another protector or a manager comes in to clean up the whole mess. And this cycle can repeat forever if nothing is done about it. And this cycle is the exact reason people, feel bad. They don't feel well and mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and even physically. So the whole idea of this, the whole process is finding awareness. Just knowing this information, whether you do anything about it or not right away, just knowing this information is going to help you start the healing process so that you can feel more fulfilled in your life. Last week, it was funny because I just got done recording the Parts and Protectors podcast, and I went to a yoga class later. And while we were just like warming up, we were just like settling in, a song came on. And the song was singing, the words were like, "You can't heal what you don't reveal." My dogs are barking. Great. Anyway, the song said, "You can't heal what you don't reveal." And I totally wanted to jump up and say to everyone, this song is just what I talked about in my podcast. But I didn't. I kept my mouth shut because that's what you do in yoga. Anyway, as soon as the class was done, I ran over to my phone and I typed in those words and decided that that would be this week's podcast episode. Anyway, because it really does make sense. Healing is a journey, but it often begins with an uncomfortable truth. You can't heal what you don't reveal. Avoiding our feelings, pretending they don't exist, or burying them like deep inside may seem like a protective mechanism or a good idea, but it only creates more problems in the long run. True healing requires us to face our emotions, name them, and understand them. So let's talk a little bit more about why revealing our emotions is so critical and how avoiding them can lead to deeper issues. In the realm of parts work, which is what I really do with a lot of my clients now, and where I'm hoping most of you will, start the process. But anyway, in the realm of parts work, avoidance can seem um, like a really good protector part. Protectors are internal mechanisms that act out of a desire to shield us from pain. Avoidance might look like pushing aside an uncomfortable feeling, distracting ourselves with either work or entertainment, or numbing through behaviors like emotional eating, gambling, shopping, substance abuse, whatever. While these strategies may give us temporary relief, they prevent us from addressing the root causes of our discomfort. When avoidance is taking charge, it's often trying to protect a wounded part of us, a part that we're carrying way deep down. It's like a deep pain, a fear, a shame, a belief. So, for instance, emotional eating might be a protector's way of soothing a part that feels unworthy or unloved. But by continually avoiding the deeper emotion, we not only fail to heal, but often we create additional problems such as guilt, health issues, or even strained relationships. So, one of the first steps in revealing and healing is to recognize when a part of you is activated. Okay. You just need to start paying attention to your body and your behaviors. Okay. Are you reaching for comfort food when you're not hungry? Are you snapping at loved ones for just minor irritations? Are you feeling an unshakable sense of dread or anxiety? These actions and sensations can be clues that a protector part is trying to shield you from something deeper. Once you notice these patterns, you can try to name them. Name them for what you're feeling. Are you lonely? Are you angry? Are you ashamed? Are you afraid? What is it? Try to name the emotion. And even if you can't exactly pinpoint the emotion right away, just acknowledging that you're feeling something opens the door for exploration. Whereas, most people, when they get to this point, they feel something, the first thing they want to do is not feel something. That is a normal human reaction to have an emotion come up and to be like, whoop, whoop, I don't want to feel it, shove it down, which is avoidance. Okay. So this is what we're talking about. So emotions are kind of like waves. They rise, they peak, and eventually they dissipate. But if we resist them, they actually tend to intensify and manifest in other ways. Creating a safe space to sit with your emotions allows them to surface naturally. Okay, I used to talk about cravings the same way. You might have an intense craving to eat something, but if you just wait, that craving will peak and then eventually it's going to go away. Well, isn't it funny? I used to talk about cravings because I was always so focused on food, nutrition, and exercise. But really, this right here, a craving is this. A craving isn't that you need chocolate. No, we don't need it. We need to address our emotions. Okay, so it's really the emotions that are like waves. And then what we want to do with those emotions is the behavior. So having a craving for certain food is actually trying to avoid our emotions. Okay. So you might, when you're thinking about exploring your emotions, you could do this through journaling, through meditation, or just talking with a friend or a therapist or a coach. The key is to approach your emotions with curiosity and compassion rather than judgment. So ask yourself questions like, all right, like if you notice you're about ready to go eat food when you don't need to, or you're wanting to drink alcohol, but you're not like at a party, or you're I don't know, you all of a sudden start scrolling on Instagram, or you feel like you need to buy something on Amazon, but really you don't need to. Those are behaviors to notice. And you can be like, whoa, just take a pause and be like, what am I feeling right now? That would be one question. Another question would be, when did I start feeling this way? Like sit with it. Be like, this is a familiar feeling, because probably if you have a feeling, an emotion that's making you want to do a destructive behavior, you've had the feeling for a while. And you need to be really honest with yourself and figure out, when did you start feeling this? And then you can ask yourself, what is this emotion trying to tell me? Or what is it protecting me from? Okay. So then we need to investigate. Okay. Once you've identified the emotion or the part that's coming about, the next step is to investigate the wound that they're protecting. Okay. Wound, experience, feeling, limiting belief, whatever it is. This is where parts work becomes absolutely transformative. So I encourage you to connect with the part, right? Listen to the hurting and offer it understanding and compassion. Okay. For example, there's a part of you that just feels like worthless, like you never get anything done, you have no goals, or it's like you feel like you're just floating through life. Okay. You can explore where that belief originated. Okay. What happened? Did somebody say something to you to make you feel like that? Did you lose a job? Did you lose a relationship? Did your parents tell you you were worthless? Like what happened really? Like we've all had an experience that makes us feel a certain way. You just have to be courageous and actually explore it. Okay? Explore, investigate. Where is this coming from? Okay, it's very likely it was rooted in childhood, or maybe as a teenager, or even as a young adult. Like something somewhere has caused this rupture in your life and has created a wound that is now creating protectors. So by validating this part's pain and offering reassurance to it, you're creating an opportunity for healing. Okay. Over time, the protector parts can relax, knowing that the deeper wounds are being tended to. So remember, I talked about self. What we do with this is I say imagine, but you bring self about to be the leader. And self is leading, saying, okay, I'm having this feeling, but self is fine. Self is untouched. So self is going to step forward. And I like to literally imagine myself like looking to the eyes of my protector and saying, hey, like, what's going on? Like, where is this coming from? What are you protecting? I literally have like a conversation in my head. I know it sounds weird, but I don't care because it works. And so when you do this, it's like you are being we say the divine parent. Self is parenting or leading all of the protector parts. And this is how you can get to the bottom of it. And this is how, instead of being like, oh, shove down the feeling, you're bringing it up, putting it on a pedestal and saying, I'm hearing you. I'm here for you. I'm listening. What can I do to make this go away or to feel better? Okay. So anyway, avoidance though might feel easier, right? Avoidance is like the quick, like, let's get to it, especially if you're somebody who feels tough, like you're not supposed to have emotions. Maybe you're a really tough man and you're afraid to feel like you don't want to cry or you don't want to look weak. Unfortunately, we've done that to men. Or maybe you're a strong woman and you're like, I'm not going to be weak. Well, it's okay to be weak. It's okay to pay attention to the parts of you that are giving you signals. By ignoring them, it's just causing more problems, such as health, like physical health issues. Chronic stress and suppressed emotions can actually manifest as headaches, digestive problems. Oh my gosh, talk about digestive problems. Back pain is a huge one, or even heart disease. It literally can make your heart sick to keep all of this emotions suppressed. Okay. The more suppressed emotions that we have, the more stress in our body. It actually physically increases our cortisol stress hormones, and it actually suppresses other very important hormones where they can't do their job. This creates obesity. This creates, like I said, digestive problems. Think about how many people have been diagnosed with IBS, irritable bowel syndrome. You know what that is? It means they don't know what's wrong with you. So they're going to call it IBS. In college, holy moly, I had the worst stomach problems, the worst. And I think some of it was I have probably had a gluten issue for a really long time. But I actually wonder if the gluten issue and the Hashimoto's and all that came from suppressed emotions, right? And now that it's coming about, I'm addressing it. My Hashimoto's is way better. My stomach like never hurts. And, I do have normal pains, like aging pains. Like my knee hurts randomly once in a while. My shoulder hurts once in a while, my stuff like that. But none of it is like chronic like it used to be. And I have to say, I 100% believe it's because I started doing the inner work. I started working with the parts. I started addressing instead of avoiding. Other problems that can come up by avoiding is anxiety, obviously, depression, and just overall low self-esteem. So if you're feeling like really like low self-esteem, you're afraid to put yourself out there, you're feeling sad, or not just sad, but actual depressed, because there's a difference. You can be sad and not depressed. There's a difference. Maybe you're really anxious. Maybe you have really bad social anxiety. Maybe you're really, not moving forward in your career, or maybe you're not finding a job that you want. There could be so many things happening because you're avoiding your true feelings. Also, when we avoid, we create harmful coping mechanisms, like I've already mentioned, but behaviors like overeating, um, not just overeating, but like eating, like hiding and eating, like sitting in your car and eating really fast so nobody sees you. I did that for a long time. Or, just like you don't want anyone to see you eat. So that's actually a harmful behavior. Substance abuse, like just overusing things just to numb and to avoid your feelings, or excessive spending, like just shopping like crazy. Fortunately, that's not my thing. I say fortunately because I mean, I'm so happy that's not my thing. I'd rather just eat cookies. But anyway, these are just ways that you can numb your emotional discomfort. So, how about instead of doing those things, we redirect our emotions in a healthy way? Okay, healing doesn't mean eliminating difficult emotions. It actually means learning how to process and redirect them in healthier ways. Okay, so here's some ideas. First up would be a mindful practice. Okay, techniques like deep breathing. Okay, like you don't have to do a breathwork session with me to deep breathe. You can literally just sit down when you're feeling anxious or you're feeling a part come up and just start breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth, long, deep, really deep, like inhale in through the nose, all the way down into your belly, right? And then exhale it back up and out. And like really pay attention to the breath. If you're thinking about your breath, it helps your mind release. So you start to actually go into the body instead of into the head. The more we are in our head, the more problems we create. But if we can get out of the head and into the body with our breath, we can really, within 30 seconds, I'm so serious. I do it all the time. 30 seconds of deep breathing can reset your whole nervous system. I mean, it might take longer than that, especially if you've been avoiding for a long, 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 long time. It might take you 90 seconds, but I'm talking like seconds, not hours. Okay. Meditation, if you have a hard time meditating, like actually like meditating, then use your breathing because deep breathing is meditating. Okay. Or you could even turn on like a recording of a guided meditation. Okay. Yoga, going to a yoga, like a mindful, like, like restful yoga can really help you stay present and grounded when your emotions arise. Now, of course, if you're at work and you're like having this emotion come up and you're just about ready to freak out, of all of those things, you know what the easiest thing is to do? Breathe. Just breathe. I would get up, walk, pretend you're going to pick something off the printer or go to the bathroom, something like either get up and walk as you breathe or just sit. Nobody's going to notice because you're just like breathing and we all breathe. Okay. So now if you're at home, maybe you do have time to throw on a YouTube video of a yoga, or maybe you can run to a yoga studio, but those are a little bit more, take a little more effort. So breathing doesn't take a lot of effort. You just have to remember to do it. Okay. Another thing is being creative, like creating art, uh, creating music or just listening to music, writing. So not just journaling, but maybe like writing poems or writing a short story. Maybe, oh, I just had an idea. Maybe you could take your part and create a story out of it, a fictional story, and you're writing it as if you were outside of that and creating a story about someone else. Not only could you come up with a good story, but it's a really powerful way to like work through that part. Oh, that's such a good idea. I think I'm going to do that. In fact, oh, actually, I did have an idea recently. I'm going to tell you this right now. I was thinking about like making a novel about all the different parts and act. Okay, I shouldn't tell you because I might do it. I don't know if I could, but I was thinking about making it like a murder mystery with all of one person's parts. There's probably already a movie about that. That's probably why like I thought of that. But anyway, that's something you could do. Be creative. Another thing is physical activity, movement. Okay, whether it's just like I said, getting up and walking to the bathroom, whether it's actually getting outside. Outside is best if you have time. You get up, you go outside, get the fresh air, be in nature, and just move. Okay, that is one of the very best ways to calm the nervous system and to deal with your emotions instead of shoving them away. I will tell you honestly, if I'm having a bad day, which honestly isn't very often, I've, I've learned how to deal with this so quickly that I don't have very many bad days. Like there's not like a day that's bad. It's like I choose to have a good day every day. But if somebody's annoying me or something's going on or I feel too stressed, nothing is better than going for a walk. And if it's too cold out, I get on my treadmill. I promise you, a walk can cure pretty much anything. Okay, I know that's a big claim, so probably not everything, but you know what I'm saying. Dancing. Okay, turn on some fun music and dance for like a minute or 2 minutes or just one song, like 4 minutes. Okay, or any kind of exercise. It helps you release any pent up energy and emotions. So, one thing, when I do breath work, a lot of the work is like getting energy out. Okay. And one of the best ways to do that is to like move your body, because sometimes energy, these stuck emotions, they actually get stuck in your body. So when you move it, shake it out or whatever, or go for a walk or jump up and down or lift weights or whatever, sometimes it gets it moving. It may not get it all the way out. You might have to do some breath work to get it totally out, but we release it. Okay. And then you can shake it out. All right. Also, seeking support clearly is very important. A therapist is so important. I think everybody should have a therapist. I really, really do. If you haven't found a therapist that you enjoy or you like, then keep looking. And in the meantime, a coach is a great option. But again, like for me, I'm not a therapist. So I can help a lot. I really can. I can help you map out your parts. I can help you go through. But a therapist is going to know a little bit more about if you have trauma or there is a difference. What's really awesome, I said it in the last episode, is like having a therapist and then coming to me. You go to therapy, you talk it out, and then you come to me to put action steps and or do breath work. It's amazing. It truly is such a great way to get support. Also, finding a support group. Maybe that's just a group of friends that you're like, hey, let's once a week get together and just talk. Okay. Or once a month, even. Okay. Trusted friends can provide a really safe space to share and explore your feelings. Okay, we're almost done. Last little bit here. So, revealing and healing your emotions is ultimately about returning to your authentic self. When we bury our feelings, we're denying parts of who we are. By facing them with courage and compassion, we free ourselves from the weight of avoidance and step into a life of greater alignment, peace, and authenticity. So the next time you feel the urge to suppress or distract, just pause and remind yourself you can't heal what you don't reveal. Your emotions are not your enemies, they're messengers guiding you towards wholeness. So thank you guys so much for being here again. I can't stress to you how much I believe in this and how much I truly believe it can change your life. And you guys, I've said this too, like life is too short to feel unfulfilled or to just survive. We're not here to survive. We're here to thrive. And I truly believe this could be the thing that could help you. So if you would like to schedule an appointment with me, just send me an email and just schedule a time with me. We can talk about what's going on and decide if a package with me is appropriate or if you need a therapist, or maybe you just need some exercise, or maybe you do need some guidance around your cravings, like whatever it is. If you're feeling alone or you're feeling like you need help and you're just not really sure where to go, I'm happy to be the first step. And whether it's working with me, or like I said, I refer you to someone else or help you find the next step, that's great. But there's no sense in doing this alone. Okay. So, again, thank you so much for being here, and I will catch you guys next week. Take care.